Yeah, welcome to today's episode of Tech Roles Uncovered. It's the start of the season 2, and I'm happy to kick it off today together with you. And for those of you who are here for the first time, I want to know where you are from. Where are you watching us? Please write that in the comments below. We are streaming to LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitch, and all of the channels they have the comment sections where you can interact with us during our live streams. And yeah, my name is Sarah, and I'm one of the founders of the Tech Leaders Academy. We are building a platform for tech professionals where we offer trainings and events, such like this one today. And yeah, if you want to join us for this event today, where we are going to uncover a specific role in tech, you can use the chat, as I already said, use that on LinkedIn and YouTube or Twitch, and then you can ask your questions or also sharing your experience and comments with us and together with my guest. Give you one more sentence and note about Tech Roles Uncovered, the format today. So each week we are gonna uncover a specific role in tech, always with a guest. And yeah, today's is the first episode of season number 2. And today we are talking about the application engineer. And therefore, I invited someone who I met around 2 months ago at a data science conference called Data Science Mania in Leipzig. And he was giving a talk about the typical challenges in data science projects that are not technical driven. And while I was listening to his talk, I was remembering many similarities from my former career as a data scientist. And when I was talking to him after that, I realized that he is not a data science himself, but he is an application engineer working at Mathworks, the company behind MATLAB. And then I was wondering, okay, I have no idea what an application engineer actually does and on a daily basis. So I have to talk with him and invite him to this format today. And that is happening. So here is Sebastian Bomberg from Mathworks. Welcome, Sebastian.
Hi, Sarah. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for taking the time and being with us and giving us some insights about your role and your daily job. However, before we go into the serious part, I brought an icebreaker for you for today. And I want to know, tell me about a specific talent you have that seems to be quite useless, or at least you cannot earn money from that.
Oof. A useless talent. Um, I can play the guitar a bit, and I never made any money out of that. Um, but still, it's fun.
It's fun. So, not 100% useless, but I assume you're not a pro guitarist
Not at
or
all,
not.
no.
No, okay. Nice. Yeah, I think then my talent is also matching quite well to it because I was also thinking about what is one of my useless talents that I have, and I think I'm like a running jukebox. Oftentimes, when I'm listening to the radio, I can directly sing to the lyrics without even seeing the lyrics, and I haven't learned them before or I haven't seen them before, even though I can directly start singing, and I think that's one of a very useless talent.
That's brilliant. But is it with songs you hear in that moment for the first time and you can just sing along,
No,
or?
not for the first
Oh,
time. Or no, well, at least I have to hear them a couple of times, but then my brain somehow remembers the lyrics, and I don't know. It's interesting because I didn't find any use case where I could really use this talent. But maybe together with you doing some music next time.
yes. I'm
Good.
absolutely there for it.
Good. So then stop it with the funny part and continue with the serious part. So today we will talk about your job as an application engineer. And maybe to start it in the best way is by giving us an introduction by you. So maybe Sebastian, maybe you can introduce yourself also a bit. What are you doing and where do you come from?
Right. So I'm an application engineer at the Mathworks. I have been doing that now for 5 years. Um, and I am these days doing lots of data analysis, data science. That's that occasion that we met was one of those
Mhm.
conferences I attend. And I'm a career changer actually. So I
Mhm.
am a mechanical engineer by trade. Um, and that's also the types of customers that I'm usually dealing with. So
Mhm.
not exactly tech companies, but more people who come from a industry, from some manufacturing company, medical, automotive, aero, rail, all sorts of things.
Mhm.
Um,
So we have a technical background, but have you also did your first experiences with data analytics during your studies?
Absolutely, yeah. Um, so as I said, I trained as a mechanical engineer, but I'm not one of those CAD people
Mhm.
drawing blueprints or whatever. I was always very much interested in modeling the physics, creating mathematical models, simulations, computational fluid dynamics, finite elements, and so on and so forth. So I focused on that during my studies. I had some lectures and with regards to software engineering, had some C++ assignments where I learned to code a bit. And also during research work, we were always coding our own little functions and scripts to do the data pre and post processing. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. And how did you enter the job world after you finished studying?
Yeah. I I did I was working as a research staff at university. I stayed in academia for some time. Then
Mhm.
I transitioned to a utility vehicles manufacturer here around Munich, where I was in the aerodynamics and HVAC, so that is heating, ventilating, air conditioning, those
Mhm.
things. Um, my background from the fluid mechanics, from mechanical engineering helped there a lot. And I was always tasked with um, yeah, analyzing data from test drives, from simulations, and also with the tooling. So I was developing small applications, turning my data analysis scripts into proper applications, which I hand over to the other development engineers. So I had a couple of internal customers, so to speak,
Mhm.
who were informing my designs. Yeah.
Mhm. And now you have been working at Mathworks for about 5 years. Can
Mhm.
you also explain to us what is Mathworks and what is the most famous software Mathworks, yeah, sells and develops?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm speaking about my past too much. Yeah, we're here to talk about my current role. Yeah.
Mhm.
So about 5 years ago, it's not that I was dissatisfied or so, but I saw this open position for an application engineer at Mathworks. I knew Mathworks through their products, MATLAB and Simulink,
Mhm.
which are very much used in engineering and science. I had learned those tools during university. I had used them at my previous employer. So I felt quite um, well equipped for that new
Mhm.
role of informing others about MATLAB.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. So I felt a strong pull to transition from a more software engineering developer role where I would be coding in solitude and being more reactive to my few internal customers' feedback, to a more customer facing role,
Mhm.
to be interfacing both with customers and also other departments at Mathworks. Yeah. So
Mhm.
that's what I'm doing now.
Mhm.
Mathworks, for those who don't know, I mentioned MATLAB and Simulink as our flagship products. So these are um, a programming language as well as a software tool itself. And there's more you can add to it. You can not just prototype, but also translate your algorithms to C code, for example, which could run on embedded devices. Um, the company is just shy of 40 years old. It's still privately held, has been growing organically every year. Um, we didn't have to lay off people during the pandemic or afterwards, which is really great. There's a strong culture of learning and self-sufficient work. This that's what I really like about it.
Mhm. How many employees do you have?
So we are about 6,000 now
Mhm.
worldwide in 34 offices.
Mhm.
Um, I would have to lie about the number of the countries,
Yeah,
but you
it's
can
okay.
look that all up on our website.
But it's quite a bit. So 40 years of existence and more than 6,000 employees. I think that's already like a huge company already to work with. So, how would you describe then, or how would you define the work as an application engineer? What is an application
Mhm.
engineer from your perspective?
So I think of an engineer, no matter whether you're a software engineer, mechanical, electrical engineer, civil engineer, I think it's all about solving problems. And
Mhm.
that is actually what an application engineer does. Um,
Mhm.
the Okay, another shameless plug here. The company's motto is accelerating the pace of engineering and science. And that's
Mhm.
what we are trying to do. We're trying to make sure that our users are successful in what they're doing, right? So that involves listening to and actually asking the right questions to get a bigger picture of what our users are actually trying to achieve. Somebody may call me up and say, "Hey, I'm having trouble solving this optimization problem," and then we slowly uncover what is actually the bigger picture. Maybe this is going to be about forecasting energy demand to better control and optimize the grid for the use of renewable energy sources, for example.
Mhm.
And then, so where does your data come from? In what form are you going to pass on the findings, your results? Where should this run? On premise, on your desktop, as a web service in the cloud? And then we're trying to figure out um, a solution, so to speak. Yeah.
Mhm.
And
So
that,
you are,
sorry,
yeah, yeah.
and that
Sorry.
also that, that just a small addendum, and that also includes ramping up the users, so to see where do they have knowledge gaps. So can we offer them some training, or are they lacking bandwidth? Can we support them with a consulting project, if you so will?
Mhm. So, as I understand it, and if I want to summarize your description, you are someone like working closely together with customers, identifying specific data science use cases that should be implemented or solved together with the solutions provided by MATLAB or by Mathworks in general, by the company. Is
Well,
that right?
at the end of the day, we would like to sell software licenses. That's
Uh-huh.
true. Um, but that's maybe more a salesperson's
Mm-hmm.
perspective. As an application engineer, I sometimes go head to head with the salespeople and say, no, this is not what the customer needs, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a step back. They have an existing solution, maybe written in another language. Why would they want to reinvent the wheel? Let's see how we can integrate and really make our customers successful.
Mm-hmm.
We we want satisfied users, and a sustainable relationship. We would
Mm-hmm.
become their go-to people when, so that they turn to us when they are facing new challenges.
Mm-hmm. So when you would view the whole life cycle of a project, of a data project, let's call it this way, you would be also part in the acquisition phase, so during sales and pre-sales, or is it after sales has ended and then customer want to ramp up, yeah, the project together with you?
Mhm.
Is that where you come in place?
Okay. So from an organizational standpoint, the role of an application engineer is considered pre-sales
Mhm.
engineer,
Mhm.
um, but it doesn't stop there. So there, as I was saying, we were trying to have sustainable relationships. So we will be working with some customers over longer periods of time after they have bought licenses, after they have attended trainings, and we still keep working together with them. And this is quite rewarding. So that the job of an application engineer, or AE for short, um, it it's also about spreading the word. So whenever I
Mhm.
get the chance to um, have a joint research paper written, co-authored by a customer, for example, and submitted to a data science conference or whatever conference, um, go to trade shows together, have partner webinars. That's also part of the job. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, cool. Quite interesting, but always with a focus on the customer and making the customer successful in his endeavors, so to say.
That's the major part of the job. Um, there's there's also lots of inbound communication and pulling in different teams. For example, the the requirements that we gather from customers. Maybe we identify gaps of features that are not yet in product. So I will talk to a developer, for example, or to a product manager and see how they can move things forward. So we, instead of some consultant coming up with a workaround for that customer project at hand, we will have a tested and officially supported solution at the next release.
Mhm. Okay, cool. So I'm looking at my notes how to continue right now. Could you lead us through a typical day of an application engineer at Mathworks?
Sure, yeah. So we have a hybrid work model these days. So a couple of days I will be working from home, a couple of days I will be in the office. Um, so there is some variance from day to day. A typical day at the office would start off with free breakfast. Everybody get together, there's a lunch buffet, and we will be chatting. So that would be sometime between 8 or 9. At 9, at the earliest, I will be having a first so-called qualification call. So usually a
Mhm.
salesperson would have set up the call with the customers, AEs, application engineers. We do not do cold calling or that.
Mhm.
Um, um, and then we will speak to the customer. Maybe I will be doing some research, maybe reach out to other coworkers, developers, if I have some open questions, if I need further information, write a follow-up email to that customer, um, perhaps inform one of our people from consulting services if there's an opportunity for them to jump onto that project. And then the next from 10 to 11 or so, I may perhaps meet with a salesperson and strategize about account development for certain
Mhm.
what we call higher priority accounts where we maybe already have a relationship or that has been going on for some time. We can maybe think of well, what are trends in that industry that our customer is from? What are the challenges that come with that? Um, do we have a solution for that? Does that map to our products or are there gaps? Do we have a way to introduce these topics to our users? And in what way? Maybe we need to prepare a new demonstrator or proof of concept or something,
Mhm.
presentation. And after that, there would be some form of team meeting usually. This could be cross-functional groups where other AEs are involved and maybe people from training services, consulting services, marketing. Um, and we would again think about some, yeah, let's say market trends. For
Mhm.
example, artificial intelligence, that's the hype. So again, we will think of maybe let's start an in-person event at some venue. Who are we going to invite? From what industry are these people? How does artificial intelligence apply to that industry? How can they benefit from that? And then so on and so forth. Um, After that, lunch break, and then maybe have a short discussion with somebody from product marketing about writing an upcoming white paper or a webinar that's going to come up. In between, maybe another customer call or two, again, followed by some research and some email writing, follow-up activities, documentation, so that people are in development and product management are aware of what is keeping our users up at night, so to speak.
Mhm.
All right. And in the afternoon, I would usually block an hour or two, or sometimes three, to get some content related work done. So that would be when I design slides for a presentation or think about a new hands-on demo where I can show off the
Mhm.
features and capabilities of MATLAB in this and that field, uh, or just rehearse and dry run an upcoming conference talk
Mhm.
to a couple of coworkers and get feedback from them. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Uh,
That's really insightful. Thank you very much for giving
yeah.
us, yeah, like this view
Mm,
on your typical
yeah.
day. I know days vary a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I assume, or most probably. However, I think this now gives us a good
Yeah.
idea on
Yeah.
what are you working on and with whom you are interacting. And the next question that come from your explanation is. Uh, in so what kind of roles are your team members working in, or what kind of roles are in your team, like in
Mhm.
your directly team? Do you work in a team,
I
like in
do.
general?
Yeah. Um, so um, we have okay. Let me take a step back here. So application engineers at Mathworks can come in different flavors. So
Mhm,
I'm focusing on commercial users, so businesses, companies. There's an equivalent who tend to users from academia. This could be
mhm,
research institutes, universities, and so on. Um, as I said, my I'm focusing on commercial users, and then again, you can focus on specific product groups. Maybe somebody is all about artificial intelligence. Maybe somebody is all about electrification, how to create physical models of battery storage systems. Another person may come from a background of controls design and works together with that electrification person to make solutions regarding battery management systems and so on. Um, I would say I'm more of a generalist when it comes to our product landscape, but I focus on workflows, for example, how to migrate from your local desktop to a cloud-based
Mhm.
development um, environment, or to how to take your analysis out of your IDE and deploy this as a web service to some
Mhm.
Kubernetes running on the cloud or something. Um, so naturally, these people, nobody can do everything, so
Mhm.
we need each other's help
Mhm.
again and again.
Mhm.
Um,
So are you
so
in a team of other application engineers, or are you more in a
mhm,
cross-functional team together with some people from sales and maybe also from
mhm,
engineering, for example?
yeah. Um, I am in a team of a handful of other application engineers. As I was saying, we have different product
Mhm.
focuses, and we have a Salesforce too
Mhm.
in our team. And then there are these cross-functional groups, so to speak. When I was saying we had a team meeting where we would, for example, kick off a meeting about we had a meeting or an event about predictive maintenance the other week. So that was more cross-functional. There were people
Mhm.
from marketing, from other business fields, teams, and salespeople involved. So it varies from occasion to occasion.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and there are these worldwide communities of practices.
Mhm.
There is a strong learning culture. Um, so my day, when I was describing my day, it had not stopped yet. So at the end of the day, maybe at 4 or 5 or so, because we are already located in different time zones, I would have joined a some form of training or community of practice where somebody
Mhm.
would have presented, um, I don't know, a project they had been working on, which would describe some novel developments that are something you can learn from.
Mhm. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
So, for the audience watching us right now, if you have questions for Sebastian, we have a couple of minutes left where you can ask a question and we can also answer them directly in the live stream. If you also have questions regarding Mathworks, or maybe also you are interested in open positions, you can also ask that, and we are happy to answer that, or at least we will try out, right, Sebastian? We will try out to answer every question that you have. So don't be shy, just take your chance and use it. And meanwhile, we can continue looking at your chart because you provided me some detailed information
Mhm.
also on your task and responsibilities. I think some of them we already discussed a bit, but now we have it in different kind of visualization because we distributed it not across the day, but across the percentages of time that it takes for you as an application engineer. And
Mhm.
40% goes into customer support. Can you explain us a little bit?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Maybe, or
Yeah.
give us an
So maybe
example?
maybe maybe that's a bit misleading. We do have a technical support where users
Mhm.
can call not 24/7, but during the normal working hours, they can call up people when they run into an error message or something. Customer support for me is really um, when I am working on a proof of concept for or with a customer project. Customer sends me data. I'm trying to do some classification algorithm to I don't know, discriminate certain states a piece of machinery could be in, whether it's a faulty state or a healthy state, or things like that. Um, Customer interaction. This could be anything from me giving a webinar. Actually,
Mhm.
the interview we're having right now could be customer interaction.
Mhm.
That's part of my job too. This could be when I go to conferences, or when I just pick up the phone and speak to a customer. That's customer interaction. Strategy planning, reporting. That is, I come back from a trade show, for example. I write a little trip report so that development and product management um, can read that and make informed decisions about their roadmap, for
Mhm.
example. Um, but this could also be all the team meetings whenever we are planning an event or something. Content related, that's when I design a new slide deck, um, when I think about and program a new demo, for example. Um, and traveling, I think that's self-explanatory.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's when I'm on the train or with a salesperson together in a car.
Yeah. I assume before the pandemic, the travel was a bit higher than today?
Absolutely, yeah. So
Yeah.
although traveling is now possible and I love in-person events, it's a lot less than it used to be, which is not bad, because most of the things can be done remotely. But larger events, when it's not just me speaking to a person one-on-one or to a small group, I definitely prefer to do those in person. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's definitely something different when you meet people like in the same room and you can interact, and also you tend to get to know them in a different way than just online. And
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yep.
I think it's something different when you met someone before in real life or in
Hmm.
like personal, and then you go into the remote connection.
Yeah.
I think that's
Mhm.
different.
And
But
also
yeah,
when it's a webinar or just the situation we're having here, people can of course pose questions to the chat, but maybe they still thinking about it or they're slow at typing. And then
yeah,
time's up, the event ends, everybody is logged off the
yeah.
event, and that's that. At an in-person event, you can always approach later on during coffee break and reach out to the people.
True. Like
So
in
in
our case, like if you are still thinking about your questions, of course, you can always write to Sebastian and or ask your question also in a week or so. I think that's also possible. So don't hide your questions. If you have some that come maybe tonight before you fall asleep, then yeah, use the chance now as you know him. He's very kind, and ask your questions, and yeah, or write him in general.
Thank you, Sarah. That's yeah, find me on LinkedIn or reach out to Sarah and get my contact details through her if you have
Yeah,
further questions.
yeah.
It's and by the way, Sarah and Sebastian, it's I love what you're doing. It's super helpful. I wish you would have been around 15 years ago or so when I left university and was looking for my first job. It's really helpful.
Thank you very much. Thanks for taking time. I think that's also very precious. Good. Then I will take away this beautiful slide. Thank you very much. And coming back in the old mode. Um, so now we have heard so many details about your job, about your task, and the responsibilities, and a typical day. So, what would you say? What are the most important skills that you are or that you need on a daily basis?
Mhm. I think communication is key. That means both presentation skills and listening. You need to really understand, make sure you really get it right, what the users are trying, the challenges they're facing, um, to to do things right, to come up with the best solution you can. And also time management and prioritizing things. I was walking you through my day to day, and you saw it was a lot of topics, and surely everything is always urgent, but what are the most important things? That's up to you
Mhm.
to decide. Um, I was mentioning at Mathworks, the company culture, the working culture, it's that people are really uh, enabled to work independent, um, self-sufficiently. So it's not that your boss tells you every day in the morning you need to do this, that, and then that, and
Mhm.
next this. It's up to you, and not just about the day, but a week or a month. So you need to prioritize, and then you um, once you have some experience and you get the day to day done, I don't know, designing a slide deck or doing a qualification call, what questions to ask, in what format to write down some documentation. When you get up to speed with that, then you have the bandwidth and you can really uh, drive your own initiatives. For example, kick off an event, organize an event yourself, um, reach out to some industry association and ask them, hey, how about we write a joint white paper for people from machine builders, how they can benefit from artificial intelligence, and that's what moves things forward, I would say.
Mhm. And do you think your technical background helps you?
Yes, definitely. Um, Most of the other application engineers in my team, they come from a technical or engineering background. We have very few trained computer scientists.
Mhm.
Those may be more in the consulting services or in the development part. In the application engineering, um, we are specifically looking for people with some work experience, maybe in other fields, in other industries, just
Mhm.
to see they understand the challenges of
Mhm.
our users, they speak the same language, quote unquote.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really important to really understand the use cases that are implemented by the customer, but also the challenges the customer are facing. And Mathworks, and as I understood you, is a lot focusing on like industries, like mechanical industries, and where you definitely need, or like production environment where you definitely use these kind of simulation tools and MATLAB a lot. And I think then it's a huge benefit if you have someone with some background information that can speak the language of the
Yeah. So
customer.
that's my personal background,
Mhm.
and my focus as an application engineer are these types of customers. But MathWorks, it's all over the place. It is in, I don't know, aerospace, in
Mhm.
automotive, in medical, in financial industry, insurance companies, startups.
Mhm.
It's almost anywhere.
Mhm. Okay.
And that's a
So,
fun part of the job. You get to know so many different people every day.
yeah. Yeah, I should come around next time when I'm in Munich, and if you're in the office, to see some of your coworkers and to get
Sure.
an like a live uh, insight on your office and how the people interact. By the way, what I have to mention is you have a really supportive community or culture in your company. Why? Because it has never happened that so many people share our posts about you coming here to our live stream. I think we had about 14 or 15 shares, all from your coworkers. Thank you very
Nice.
much for that. I think that shows a lot how supportive your company culture is, that you are supporting each other in what you are doing. And that's really great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. So, my last question for today.
Mhm.
Um, looking into career progression and career booster. Um, do you have an idea of any career boost, or it can be someone like a person, it can be some a good book or something that has happened during your previous years or during the
Mhm.
past that really kicked and accelerated your tech career?
That's a good question. I mean, I have I've been to a number of of soft skills training that are offered by my employer or external partners. Um, Getting things done is one that really helped me because as I was saying, you need to prioritize, you need to get things done, and you need to learn that it's okay to say no
Mhm.
to both your salesperson that is pushing you to do something, to the customer to say, I'm sorry, I don't know that. I need to
Mhm.
research, I need help here from other people. And it's okay. You that's something you have to learn too. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, and after a while, you get the hang of the day to day. You get to know your go-to persons. If I have a question about, I don't know, databases, I go to that person. About UI design, I go to that person. And so this expedites and accelerates a lot of things. Um, if you really talk to the people one to one, it's better than writing to some, I don't know, chat room and wait for anybody to reply.
Mhm. So I
Yeah.
think networking,
And
creating a network
yeah.
inside the company
Mhm.
is very
And
valuable.
and that is something that that was really surprising for me when I started at Mathworks. I couldn't tell if people had been with the company for a year or for 10 years, not from the way they were speaking to each other. And I was surprised that people listen to what I say, not just
Mhm.
customers, but also internally. So I have a feeling that what what I say can make a difference, can shape the projects of both internally and externally.
I think that's a very inspirational ending or a very good quote for an ending. So, Sebastian, do you have anything that you want to share? Are you looking for a new coworker, for example? Here you
Yes.
have the stage. You can use the stage and, of course, promote your team. And maybe if we are lucky, you will have someone new in your team quite soon.
Thank you, Sarah, for bringing this up. Yeah, we 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 are indeed we do have an open position at my team in particular, but also at other teams. I know there's another open position on the education side if you're interested in that. Um, and well, these are two positions I'm aware of in that type of role in our German offices. There's always people are looking for more salespeople, but I think
Mhm.
we're talking about tech roles here.
Yes.
Um, and if you are willing to relocate to, I don't know, US, UK, India, you name it, just have a look at the website,
Mhm. Cool.
mathworks.com.
Yes, sure. Thank you very much. I think that was another good ending, or a good quote for an ending. And yeah, let's leave it here, or let's end it here. Thank you very much, Sebastian, for giving us so many insightful views on your job, leading us through your days, giving us some insights on your tasks, responsibilities, and the most important skills. Thanks for taking the time, most of all. And yeah, for all the others, if you want to continue with the next role next Thursday, we will continue with the next Tech Roles Uncovered, We will have a very cool guest with us. She is a domain owner in data science and analytics at Metro Digital, and she will lead us through her day and will give us her insights on her job. So if you find it interesting, the event is already up on YouTube and LinkedIn and Meetup. You can register already. And then I will meet you again next Thursday at 5 p.m. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching. And thank you very much, Sebastian. See you soon, hopefully.
Yeah, my
Bye bye.
pleasure. See you.